I really want a Bud Light right now, I'll tell you what. So, welcome to Comically Gaming, episode 128. What's up, everybody? How we doing? First, we're going to be covering the first week, February 2019. I guess I'll start off.
Start off. What you got, Corey? Bring it.
I watched all of The Punisher.
All of it.
Yeah, and I think in 2 days. Jeff was right about the binge watching shit. All right. Netflix knows how to keep you watching. They give you 5 seconds in between episodes and leave you on a cliffhanger every time. So
I think without spoilers, can you tell me how awesome is Jigsaw in it?
He's pretty awesome.
Good, yeah.
Okay. It seems like it has its own awesome.
The top. Yeah.
I liked Frank a lot more than I liked Jigsaw, I would say. I mean,
from a character development point of view, Jigsaw was really good. Just what he was dealing with. But the antagonists were split. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I mean, we basically just said. Well, yeah, I guess whatever.
Go ahead.
All right.
Because I thought it was great.
But yeah, you're right. 2 antagonists, and I was kind of disagreeing with you last week before watching it when you said that 13. You liked the 13 episodes because I usually think those Marvel shows run too long, but the 2 antagonists kept it exciting. There were no filler episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's
nice.
Interesting. Yeah, I liked it because there wasn't that filler. And like I said about just the first episode, it wasn't that typical first episode of a new season where it's just a slog and you got to get back into it. And it's just, it jumps right back into it.
Yeah.
And I think they've mastered the cliffhanger to make you binge watch it, because some of those endings of the episode, you're like, well, fuck you, Netflix. Now I have to watch the next one because I hate
That's
you.
It.
You're like, well, I'll just watch the first 5 minutes of the next episode just to figure out what happened. But it was really good. The ending of when the season ended, the ending was awesome. Yeah. Like the last scene, the whole thing was really good. I give it. There was one big thing, since we're not talking spoilers, I can't really say it.
Yeah,
there's one big thing that kind of bothered me, but I give it it's 8 out of 10. That's
good for those shows.
I give it a 9. I liked it for a second season.
Yeah,
I'll watch it one of these days.
It was really
first.
So, yeah,
cool.
Other than that, I did a couple of things that we're going to be talking about later in the show. Played some Anthem, and read Kill or Be Killed. I actually read the first 2 issues after reading the first one.
That's a cliffhanger right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially the first issue.
Sure. Yep. And then I did Smash Bros. News. Piranha Plant dropped last week. The first new character to the Smash series.
Yep. It was free, right?
Yeah, it was free if you bought Smash before. Like, you can still buy Smash, I think, and get them for free, but there is a deadline to where you don't get them anymore.
Right.
You have to pay for them. But I played against everybody. The 3 guys who I play with that whoop my ass every time love him. They think he's really cool. So Smash fans, you'll probably like Piranha Plant. All he did was just destroy me the whole match. So I didn't even play this one. I stand no chance if I didn't play a character I semi-knew. But it was a good time still. I did win a Tower Fall match that night, though. And those 4-player Tower Fall, if you do it on 6-player mode, they're like, you have to get 15 kills or something to win. So it's hard to actually win the match. But I got it. I'm still good at that.
family vacation or something, so you can beat up on other people and Smash and kind of feel like you are the worst player all the time.
Yeah, I played against one friend who was on the same level as me, and I beat him, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck you, dude." But then, it's like, because like they said, half the fun of Smash is talking shit with your buddies, and I can't talk shit because I just get destroyed the whole time.
Yeah, that's harsh.
That was pretty much my week. Still dancing in Persona, and I've got Life is Strange too, but I haven't even started it yet. But Dirk, how was yours?
Are we gonna get a Switch anytime soon?
He's asking right now on the spot.
Because she's getting close to beating Overcooked, I think, and that's going to be my selling point is, like, there are more games like Overcooked on the Switch. We get it.
That there is. Beating Overcooked is no small feat.
Huh?
Beating Overcooked is no small feat.
Dude, I know. She's getting intense on it, man.
Yeah.
My wife is full-blown gamer now. Absolutely. She is. She won't admit to it, but she is. Anyway, so I beat Red Dead.
Yeah!
Yes.
You did it.
Beat Red Dead.
I'm tired from just you playing it.
I know. This is the last time I talk about it. It's great. And that in and of itself is great. Phenomenal game. The epilogue was way too long. I don't think you even need the epilogue. Although I will say it ties into Red Dead 1 a bit, which is cool. I thought that was cool. That was like the only selling point for me that made me enjoy it, because I went and read the Red Dead timeline and everything else after to see who, what, yada yada. But awesome. I mean, I give it probably a 9 out of 10, I guess.
Sure. It cracks me up there, too, how much you talk about, like, I don't play games like you guys do, and you beat The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, it doesn't get more hardcore than that. If you're beating
you're more of a gamer than Nate.
You are more of a gamer than Nate.
Dude, I don't think about it, though. It's like, I don't put the variety of games in, but when I commit to one game, it's like, I'm like,
knock it out.
I believe in it. I'm like, I'm going to get there, you know?
Variety is not always the spice of life.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Is like I don't play as many games as other people, but if it's like Rockstar games, I will always finish. I finished everyone up to this point. I'm probably
honestly
finish everyone.
Yeah, and there's 3 top tier games on average that come out a year. As long as you're playing those.
Yeah.
Well, I beat Celeste too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, those 3.
That's fucking hard.
I know. And she's going through it. Like, I compared Celeste a little bit with Overcooked to an extent because of strategy, right? And, like, you're trying to beat. Yeah, you know, like, you really have to commit and do the same level over and over and over and over. And I was, like, instructing her, like, this is what it's called grinding. It's when you, and, like, telling her everything. Like, but, the other thing I did, I watched Hereditary last night before bed, which is probably a mistake. And then I don't know if you guys remember Hereditary. It's a horror movie that came out last year. It's got like this interesting looking little girl that was like that was, I think, what sold the trailer was how she looked or whatever.
Scary looking? What do you mean?
Yes. Yeah, kind of scary looking. I don't want to say scary because it's kind of messed up to say that she's scary looking, but...
Just creepy looking little girl.
Yeah, just something ominous about her. Yeah, her features. And you think that the movie is going to be what you receive in that trailer. I thought it was going to be like the Omen sort of horror film, and it is not that. It's a really brutal film to watch. Did you watch it, Nate?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
No.
dude. I would
really
say like I would think like a third of the movie in, something happens and you're just like your jaw just hits the ground and something that you're not expecting, and then it just devolves into this really fucked up film, man. I don't know how else to put it. I think it's got elements of Rosemary's Baby in it, and maybe a little bit of The Witch. But I can't spoil anything. I'll just say this: if you look at the trailer for it, it's not what the movie is. Watch the movie.
Is it good?
It's excellent. I thought it was fantastic.
All right, then I'll check it out.
Okay.
We like watching horror movies. That's one thing me and the wife can always agree on, is horror movies.
It's not going to be easy to watch, though, man. I'll tell you that right now.
Sure. That's why we watch lots of
it's not a horror film in the sense that, like, oh, stabby or, yada yada. Like, there's elements of, like, familial relationships and like life and death that happen in there that really
psychological horror.
Big time. It makes the Haunting on Hill House look like freaking Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That was a good movie, though.
Insane. Haunting on Hill House, the series. I mean.
The series. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's that sort of. It was hard to watch in a lot of ways, but I could not pull away from it. And then that leads sort of into my next thing. I listened to, I think, 3 episodes of Scary Thoughts this week, and I probably would have done more if I had the time.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Or if I had watched the movies that they were covering. I don't want to listen to anything that they are covering. Yeah.
I sometimes use their playlist as like, I want to watch a movie tonight. What am I going to watch? And
that's why I watch Hereditary. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I went back and listened to them after I watched it, and they sort of hit the same points that were great about it. But
have you watched True Detective season 1?
Oh yes.
Listen to their show
already.
on that.
Listen
to that show. That's really
one
great.
of the ones. That's one of the ones I covered this week. Yeah.
Nice.
And I forget that Chad is from here. Is he from New Orleans or?
I don't. I think he's the country boy, like y'all. Yeah, I don't.
Because he mentions Cajun Mardi Gras, but that he's never been to it. He's never been to that area.
He lived in New Orleans because you guys worked at the coffee shop.
He's probably from Metairie or something, huh? Chad, if you hear this, I'm sorry if you're not from Metairie.
Dirk doesn't know who you are, Chad, even though you work together.
That crew back then was a lot of people working together.
It was. Those were crazy days.
A lot of people.
But no,
hazy memories.
Scary Thoughts was awesome, man. I get wrapped up in it, and I just want to like talk to them.
Yeah.
Like every time they start, I just want to share my own thoughts with them. I get really sort of geeked out, and like I want to talk too. But that's like, I guess it's a sign of a good podcast is you wanting to jump in and talk.
It's funny, like they make me think about what we do a lot because their discussion comes from such this, it says it right in like their headline, it's psychology is a part of the show, right?
Yes.
And so to have a show like that where they're dissecting things to it from a psychology standpoint is very, like, I find it's almost like an exercise for my brain just to follow along or whatnot sometimes.
Yeah.
And we're the opposite of that. We come from a fan perspective, right?
It's all it,
and,
right.
Yeah, so it makes me kind of reevaluate how we do things because, like, we need to refine our tone too, even though it's not, you know what I mean? It's not from a psychology standpoint by any means,
I feel like I'm sort of embarrassingly infantile, my intelligence compared to what they're discussing.
Yeah, so
I'm
we
just
need
like,
we need to like lean into that, right?
Oh, yeah. I would love to
be as infantile as possible.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, like, just talking to Chad, I'm like, yeah, that's. I don't think I could get that deep. Right.
It's fantastic.
He's very smart individual for sure.
Yeah, and Mark Kate. Mark is also super awesome, and I can listen to them talk for weeks on end, apparently. But that was my week, Jeff. What you got?
Well, I already sort of jumped on Corey with talking about the Punisher.
You jumped on Corey.
I did.
File drive.
And I've been playing Super Smash Brothers with my son. More of he just watches me go through all the adventure mode and get all the spirits and fighters. because you really want Sonic, and I still can't find Sonic yet. And I unlocked Samus, and so I'm like, okay, I'm good. I was using Link, and now I have Samus, and so I'm like,
Nice.
sweet.
You know to back out every 10 minutes when you're playing adventure mode, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's how you get that's like every 10 minutes it'll let you unlock a new character. So as long as you do a few fights in adventure mode, then back out to the main screen, and then you'll unlock a new character and then go back in.
Why did they do that? What
know.
is that?
It's just their way
There's
to
so
unlock
many
characters.
There's so many
really?
It's every character from every Smash ever is in
Yeah, it's
there.
like 80 something.
Yeah.
And some of those battles piss me off, dude, because I'll get them to where they're almost dead, and then something stupid will happen, and you'll fall off the map somehow, and then you're like, what the fuck? Bullshit. But
Yep.
the other thing I was doing this week was I bought the largest mining ship in Eve.
What?
It's a capital.
How much did that cost?
It cost roughly, if you were paying real money, probably $120.
Wow.
Because it was like 1.3 billion just for the hull, and then all the fittings and everything you have to put on it. And
how did you not pay with real money? You say that with the equivalent, but
it says I didn't pay with real money.
yeah, I don't know.
But no, I bought
That's serious, man.
It is serious, dude. I was out there, and I ended up almost passing out, falling asleep.
I mean, the dude goes to Las Vegas every year.
I know. I respect that so hard, dude. I gotta tell you. I mean, even though like I played Eve, and it wasn't really for me because I don't play on a PC really that much, you know. And I think if I did, I would be so into it and not have to play in potato mode, obviously. But no, I just respect like how big that whole fan base and like everything how involved your world is in that. Yeah. That's just fantastic.
It's awesome that the story is so organic at this point.
It's
right?
all player content, and it's
cool.
It's real life merging into just this weird espionage, backstabbing kind of.
I love it.
Screw your buddy over. Because I mean, some of the stuff they can do is if you play the market, like you buy and sell stuff and move it around and find stuff that's selling cheap, and then you can buy it cheap and then find out another place that wants it selling higher, and people will like short the market. They can do day trading and do margin calls on the market.
That is awesome.
It's so involved. It's
Let me ask you, how is it? How is the community in Eve? Like, if a noob jumps in, are they a bunch of haters and acting like you're a noob, or are they inviting? Like, I know the WoW community's kind of toxic, and like, there's,
I didn't get the impression that they
League
were.
of Legends, everybody says it's super toxic. Like, is it those games with massive followings like that can be kind of toxic for new players?
I didn't really meet anybody though.
Well, I mean. New players, they're welcoming with new players, and you're actually part of a channel that has other players that are new and veteran players that just start new characters. And so while they're in there, they will help you out. You ask questions, but then there's a code of honor. I mean, if you go out and you get your ship blown up by another player, it's how you react to that person is how they treat you. If you're like, hey, thanks, that was a good fight. Sometimes if you ask them what I do wrong, they'll actually take you under their wing and help you. So the community is actually pretty accepting of new players and wants to help each other out. But that response is based on how you react to something happening in game. It's based on how you react.
Sure.
If you react like a dick and start screaming at them and cussing at them, they're going to be a dick back to you. But
you got a swarm.
If you say, hey, I'm new, what did I do wrong? They will help you out. So and partly because they want new players. They want more people to come into it.
Did it get better with the... Sorry, did it get better with the coming about of Fortnite. I was reading something from somebody who plays League, who said that since Fortnite has become popular, their community's been better.
League of Legends?
Yeah, because all the younger folks are all playing Fortnite now instead.
I saw something.
Did that happen?
I saw. I mean, it's where we're at. We don't interact with a lot of new players, but
sure,
we do.
It's probably not a lot of young kids who play Eve. Anyway.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I played with a guy when he was 16. And he just,
before now you're playing with 7-year-olds.
Yeah, he was playing when he was like 16, and he had to stop and play school and all this stuff, and he came back and he's 25 now. And I'm
crazy. That's crazy.
So it's fun, but it's kind of an accomplishment to me to get the largest mining ship called a Rorqual and go out there and
bravo.
Chew up rocks for 4 hours till your eyes bleed. But you can do other shit. Like I can read Ravnica because I bought Ravnica, so I can read stuff and watch movies.
Yeah. You really gotta buy it.
Just have it in the background.
But you want it in the background. But so how'd it go, Nate?
I did not do much this week. Was going crazy. Work was extra long hours all week long, and didn't have a chance to do a lot of things. We're still knocking out Deadwood, almost at the end of season 1. I gotta say again, it's so awesome, Dirk. It's funny, since the last time we talked, you were talking a lot about the dialogue, right? And how cool it is that it's kind of like Shakespearean or whatnot, and since as season 1 has went on, I feel like that gets even thicker. Like they're purposefully writing crazy, putting a ton of time into that dialogue. And I, as I started to watch it, I was thinking about I was like, man, that this isn't how they talked in the Old West. Like this is like a decision by the directors. But my wife, when I started having this conversation with her, she's like, no, you're wrong. And we started Googling things, and it really when that show was going on was Victorian time in England, right? And that's how people talked. If you came right over from speaking English in Europe to here, that's how the dialogue was for a lot of people, right? And so it's actually like, even though we're not used to seeing that in TV shows and movies and things like that, people talk like Westerners do today in Red Dead, right? Like it's
well, no, I was just gonna bring up Red Dead.
Yeah,
when you get to the big cities.
Oh, there's some crazy dialogue. Yeah.
Well, but what's cool about Deadwood is that the country hicks are talking like that, right? Like the just the way that they structure their sentences and stuff is different than it is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's cool. What's that?
I was gonna say Red Dead took cues from Deadwood totally in some areas. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, it's awesome, and the story continues to be awesome. I'm curious to see what happens. Like I know it got ended before they planned on ending it, so I don't,
it's not good.
But I don't understand. Like it's so good now where I'm at. Like I'm can't wait to kind of see what happens as it goes on.
You're gonna feel cheated. I can tell you that right now.
Sure. Well, they're making a movie, right? Like I think that might be the point of the movie. So yeah. Anyways, I can't recommend it enough. Corey, you gotta start watching it. If for as much as you are Arthur Morgan, you'll love this show.
Oh, dude, you'll love it.
You really will.
And Jeff would love it.
Yeah, you would too, definitely.
Absolutely.
I do need something to watch right now.
Yeah. So, and then just the last thing is I started reading, speaking of backstabbiness, as Jeff was earlier, I started reading Clash of Kings, the second Game of Thrones book. I actually started doing it.
Oh, so look at you.
Plowing through that. I can't just do what Corey did and read 10 Driss books in a row. Like I've got to mix up what I'm reading, and so Game of Thrones kind of popped back up, and it's the second one, and it's cool. Even already, it's funny. Like after you've been through the show, it makes kind of. I can't imagine if I hadn't seen the show, because separating the characters in your mind for how many there are in what everybody's doing is insane. Crazy. You know what I mean? Like go ahead.
The show is a fraction of what happens.
Yeah, right. That's the thing, fraction. Too, right? it's like the jumping off point, you know.
Yeah.
And I continue to think that he's kind of a shitty writer. Like his actual writing is not great, but that story is. Yeah. Yeah. He's such a good. Yeah. Right. The bones to it is so cool that just enjoying it. You know, I figure
we just lost him as a viewer. Thanks.
He ain't gonna write that last book anyway.
I feel like he's for sure gonna end the books different than the show. So I want to read through the books and do that also because it's really great. So yeah, that was it. That was our week.
All right.
Oh.
Breaking news! Breaking news! Welcome to the news of the week. We got a couple breaking news items to start it off. We forgot that the Super Bowl was airing an hour before we filmed.
I definitely forgot.
And always has a bunch of trailers. Right. We're going to talk about the nerdy ones real quick, which was Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, Bud Light.
But,
that's terrible.
Let's start with the best, Endgame. So, Hawkeye's back. My prediction is coming to reality.
I was thinking that when I was watching. I was like, oh shit, Hawkeye could kill Thanos.
I thought that both of those Marvel commercials they did exactly what they needed to do, which both of them I was just like, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't spoil anything about the story. They didn't even try to go there. They were just like, let's do this. Like, in both of those, it was sweet.
That's Monica Rambeau also in that Captain Marvel trailer. Yeah, that's awesome.
She's bad. She looks badass when she's flying above Earth fighting things and stuff.
Yeah, all Creed out.
They both look awesome. Sure.
I like how Endgame was like basically the first commercial to kick off the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're so close now. It's gonna start happening, fellas.
I know it's weird.
We're gonna get weird and Game of Thrones at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a lot to handle.
It's a lot of information to take in and talk about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no Star Wars trailer, but speaking of Game of Thrones, I really want a Bud Light right now, I'll tell you what.
I didn't see them making fun of the Renfest because I was looking at it as just it was the whole dilly silliness.
No, I kind of disagreed with Nate watching it too. I didn't think they were making fun of anybody.
I just thought
you were wrong. You're wrong. The whole dilly thing is making fun of Renfest nerds. Yeah,
absolutely.
They're
not even the same time period. Like,
right.
Well, I guess I didn't get that. What do you mean? The whole dilly thing.
It's just a stupid marketing ploy is all really.
Yeah, Bud Light's been doing that for like 2 years at this point or whatnot, and it's totally poking fun at people, at nerds who get into,
Do you think it's poking fun partially at the Renfest nerds and attacking the stereotypical person that likes craft beers? It's all into craft beers.
Yes.
Oh yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Those are the same people, and those are the people who knew about Game of Thrones before HBO had a show about it. And so for Game of Thrones to team up with Bud Light making fun of them, that's some bullshit. It really is some bullshit. It hurts my feelings, to be honest. It does. It really does.
But see, I just liked it. I just liked it that it was the mountain that took out the Bud Knight. And then a fucking dragon just
made me mad. Really bad.
I didn't see it, but I don't want to see it now.
The other thing about those commercials, the whole Bud Light thing is this whole corn syrup thing that they're just
it's like if you're a real man, just drink Budweiser.
Gross.
That's the king of beer. The other one.
Self-proclaimed king of beers.
So the other thing, while we were talking about commercials, the Xbox controller commercial made me cry.
That was awesome. Yeah. That was really
Why did you cry? What happened?
It's all about the controller that Microsoft put out that's for people who have special needs and don't have stuff. And it's a bunch of kids and stuff. And this dude's kid's dad tears up talking about how when he's playing video games online, he's just like everybody else. And this controller lets him do that and stuff. It's hardcore. It hit me. It did.
It's true though, man.
Yeah. I never see commercials because I don't have cable anymore.
The Super Bowl was on an antenna, Corey.
Yeah. I don't have a good antenna. Anyways, next news. Xbox Live's coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy, dude.
Imagine that credit just said there.
Yeah.
My question is, do you need to subscribe to Nintendo Online in order to get Xbox Live, which you have to subscribe to as well?
Can y'all explain to me, as somebody that doesn't have either, what the fuck that means?
Honestly, I don't even know what that means.
It's basically
I
like
know what
cross-platform.
Live is.
It's basically.
But is it really? Are you going to be able to play Halo on your Switch? I don't think so.
No, right. That's not what it is.
No, it's you can. Nate,
it might be for
Nate, say
Fortnite.
what you think it is. Like,
no, Xbox Live. What you get with Xbox Live is like that's like Microsoft's like chat and like servers for their games and stuff like that, right? So like they pointed out in that article that was on comicbook.com that you can currently, if you play Minecraft on your Switch right now, you get achievement points that go towards your Microsoft account. That happens now already. So it would mainly be stuff like that, but it could be voice chat, because the Switch doesn't have voice chat, and that's a part of it having Xbox Live is playing games with your friends. So it could be an app on your Switch that has voice chat also, right? So, but it's just crazy that anything that's Microsoft branded is on the Switch, right? Like it's
absolutely crazy.
Nintendo is all about exclusives. That's what keeps them alive, and they're like, Xbox Live on this shit's wild. Yeah, it doesn't make. I mean, again, it kind of makes sense, but it does make sense. I'm pro cross-platform, but it's just weird that Nintendo would do it.
Is Nintendo gonna be green now?
It's gonna be an Xbox model Switch release next year. That's my 11th prediction. Anyways, on to the actual news of the week, number 5. James Gunn's coming back, most likely, to direct and write Suicide Squad 2. Not Suicide Squad 2, the reboot of Suicide Squad.
The reboot.
Right.
Reboot,
yeah.
Weird. Different characters, I think.
I think it's awesome, to be honest.
He did such a great job doing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Suicide Squad's kind of similar to Guardians, in a way, the ragtag bunch, like not your typical heroes or whatever, and he obviously is really good at writing those kinds of movies. So, and it's cool that it's DC. If he can make a good DC movie, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, I feel like from Aquaman felt different than the previous stuff, and then you roll into that movie, the Suicide Squad, and then the Joker movie that comes out this year. Like they could slowly be rebranding into something cool. It might happen, right? Like
I hope
there's
so.
hope. Yeah, there's hope. Anyways,
look, but they got to prove it to me though, like because I'm gonna be sitting there with my arms crossed, being like, "Fucking nope."
You guys see on SNL this week? He was the host. Aquaman. Dude's comedy gold.
Oh wait, that's a rerun though. I saw him.
It was on Saturday. I didn't think it was. It might have been a rerun.
Yeah, because he hosted right after Aquaman came out, like the weekend
right on the premiere. Yeah.
But he is hilarious. It was surprising
because I had the commercial for the GE like Man Electronics or Man Appliances or something.
No, he was surprisingly funny. I
was glancing up at work.
Have you seen what he does when couples come to take pictures with him? No, he's got this whole thing where people, if you look on Twitter, you'll find it where he does poses where he's like hugging the girl and like beating the dude in the face or something at the same time. Like, he purposefully poses like that with couples. Like, it's really funny stuff when you find it.
One last comment on James Gunn. I think, with Guardians of the Galaxy, he had Marvel behind him, so I don't think we need to sleep on that element of it.
For sure.
But also, if he pulls this off, I mean, DC owes him, like, forever. I mean, if he turns that machine around,
Yeah.
See.
Good.
I feel like they could do it. The Dark Knight trilogy was not that long ago.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just everything between now and then, they read those tea leaves wrong and ended up making horrible products because of it. But I feel like there's a path where they could quickly get back in people's good graces.
The first Suicide Squad was so good.
Shut up. But I feel like if
I
the
thought
Joker,
Harley Quinn did a great job.
if the Joker
Margot Robbie
movie and then Suicide Squad are both good, then they're back.
Anyways, number 4, Invincible, the Image comic Invincible, written by Kirkman, the same writer of The Walking Dead, is coming to Amazon in an 8-episode series. It's coming out in 2020, and it was just announced that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and Stephen Yeun, which is Glenn, are also going to be in it. And if you look at the characters, it's got Seth Rogen, Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2's in it.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
And it's it looks like it has the potential to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's an animated series, but that kind of makes it
cooler. That changes things for me. Okay.
So
do any of you have Amazon Prime?
Not anymore.
Yes.
So we just got it, and it's garbage right now. Like, they're buying up all these properties that I love the hell out of and cannot wait to get. But there's, compared to Netflix, there's nothing.
Well, I will confess that
they try and sell you stuff that's not on Prime and mix Prime stuff in with it and stuff. Like, it's
shitty.
I have that problem with it, but I watched Hereditary on it. It depends what you're looking for.
But I'm talking about their original programming. The original programming that is the Amazon Prime stuff. Like, they've got all this stuff in the pipeline. They got the Lord of the Rings. They got Good Omens. They got Lazarus. Yeah, there's all this shit, right? And then we hear about this one this week. I know that someday I'm just going to be watching a lot of stuff on their channel or on whatever their app. But right now, it's trash.
Yeah.
The stuff that they have is not.
I think Transparent's the only thing that took off.
I guess that's it.
But, number 3, PlayStation Network revenue hit record high in 2018, topping Nintendo and Xbox totals. And if you read into this further, what it means is PSN, people bought games digitally.
Yeah.
Right.
PSN outsold Nintendo's all of their game profits, like physical and digital.
Yeah.
Right. Wild.
And also, a funny point is, Nintendo didn't even come close to them in digital revenue.
No.
Most Switch users are still buying cartridges for some reason. I don't
They're
get
so
it.
goddamn.
Because I love
why it is?
using it.
You know what it is, Corey? The thing with Nintendo things and the handhelds, it's for the houses where there's multiple kids that have one.
Yeah.
That's why Nintendo still sells them physical.
That
because
makes sense.
we had that with 3DS around here. We had 3 3DSs between me and my 2 boys, and you can't buy one copy of the game and split it across them like you can with PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah. If you got 3 PlayStations in your house, you can do that. You can download it on every one, buy it once and download it on it. Nintendo, that's a problem. To be honest.
Get with it.
Yeah. But they still dominate that market. But crazy. I mean, so PSN's obviously killing it, which is, I buy everything on PSN, so that's cool.
Me too. I'm too lazy to swap discs.
It's just crazy. Between this story and we have another one that's about Sony also. Yeah. Like, it's weird to me. when you look at what they're doing as a company right now, they dropped out of E3 this year, which sends some weird messages, right?
That's weird.
Like, you got to assume that the PS5 announcement is on the horizon, just like Xbox's is. But they dropped out, so you'd think this year at E3,
You don't
Xbox.
assume that.
What's
You
that?
predicted it wasn't going to be announced this year. So.
That is true. So,
did.
but I'm saying, like, so you would assume that Xbox at E3 this year is going to be all about the next Xbox. They're going to announce it first, whatever it is, and then even if PlayStation announces it, they'll do it like at their own thing next year. They don't have. You know, it's just weird to me that they're making these moves that are not super consumer friendly. Like, I feel like they're putting us in the dark right now, but they have such awesome content that it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't even think of being Xbox One only person right now, right? Like, but it's like Xbox is making all these moves that, like, you feel like for the future is going to be good for them, and they're being very transparent about everything. Whereas I just feel like Sony's doing the opposite, you know. But they just are crushing it on like the stuff that they have in their system, you know.
Yep.
Well, Sony had such a great. I mean, all the exclusives that Sony had just in this past year was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I know, but if you line up this generation, it's even more mind-blowing how far ahead of the competition they are. It's you know, it's crazy.
Tis number 2. Some Batman news. 2 big things. The biggest release date. And, well, the release date is June 25th of 2021. And they dropped Ben Affleck.
Thank God.
Shocking.
Yeah.
He is such a toolbox.
Yeah, I hated him as Batman since he's been Batman.
Just an asshole in real life. Having run into him in real life, he's just the biggest asshole in real life, too.
I don't hate him as Batman. I hate him as Bruce Wayne. Like, he just looks like a meathead whenever he's in those scenes. He really does.
I'm glad you bring that up, because Christian Bale I thought was good as Bruce Wayne, but I did not like him as Batman.
Yeah, sure, I can see that.
You know why? Because he did that gravelly thing, like over the top, like, Bane, I told you know. It's like, dude,
everybody knows that.
You did. You're right. You're right. That was that when we were watching The Dark Knight with my kids. It took us like a half an hour into the film before they could hold back laughter every time he talked. Because it was so over the top.
I rolled my eyes. As well done as those movies are, that was the low point was his voice.
Sure, I do.
And the other thing that was announced about it was just. It's Noir Batman. He's going to be more detective in this movie.
Noir, yeah. I'm so excited about that. That's the best element of that announcement is if it's truly noir, if it's not just him saying what he thinks is noir and we get some weird, you know, but if it's truly noir and done in that style and you pull it off, oh my God, it would be fantastic.
If they even did it like film noir. The classic black and white, that would be sweet.
Like Spider-Man did. Number 1. Sony's switching to PS5. Apparently, their games that they're developing now are for PS5, and it is, I guess, like almost 20% of developers are making games for PS5. It's the shift is real. We already kind of touched on this, but
I guess oh man,
why the heavy sigh?
Because I gotta buy a whole console, dude. Yeah,
I mean, PS4's been out forever now at this point.
But I can be happy with it being out forever.
If that other story about the patent that they're trying to secure that could possibly bring backwards compatibility.
That makes it worth it.
It makes
if that
worth
happens,
it to buy a new
yes, absolutely. So I can play Bully or whatever.
The Xbox does that now. If they don't do that, that'll be a gigantic blunder. Like that'll be a back to the Microsoft being on top, at least in America, kind of move.
Right.
I think that they're smart enough to know that they just have to. Me and Corey have a digital library right now that's probably it's worth hundreds of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And if that goes in the garbage when the next console comes out, like they're not,
because there'll be a bunch of games we haven't beat yet.
They're not
just
go that way.
The amazing content and library that they built with the PS4 being out for so long. I mean, some of the best games out there are on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and see, I didn't mind it as much switching to PS4 because I knew that was going to be the case because me and Nate both had 360s before the PS4. So I wasn't worried about PS3 titles on my PS4, but with PS5 I definitely will.
Yeah,
be.
I'm saying, I went all in on a PS4. I did not on a 3, and when the PS4 came out, like I took a step in that direction to like secure my playtime in that console. So I gotta have that, Sony, please.
Yeah.
It's also.
That's it.
Hold on. One sec, guys. I'm going to interrupt your interruption. I feel like at this point, it's stopping me from getting a Switch. The fact that the next generation Xbox and PlayStation are going to be right around the corner. Like,
it's different. You're wrong.
But I'm not going to.
Switch is different. I love having both.
But I'm not going to buy a new console that's going to cost me like $500 to get all the shit that I need in a couple games. If I know I have to do that again the year after, next, not this holiday season, but next.
That's right.
Yeah, I can't do it.
600. It'll be 600. It's going to be premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Not if my prediction's right. It'll be 100.
Oh, that's right.
Hold on, Corey. No, you got to stop that. We got to that conversation. We got to go a little bit further. There's no way it's 600 again. 600 ruined the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3, it took them 4 years to get the market share back. That was a blunder, and they know.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's no way they don't.
That's why we switched.
I forgot about it.
We were ride or die PS2 gamers.
We were
until they announced the prices.
I forgot about
we were
that.
the only ones.
I forgot that the PlayStation 3 started out at $600.
That's crazy.
That's why it took me forever to get a PlayStation. I had a PS2. And that's why I went to the Xbox for a while.
Everybody did that.
Yeah.
So what? It'll be 400?
I think it'll be the same. Yeah, it won't be more than 400.
It'll be the same price as the Xbox.
I think the Xbox will be 100.
Yeah,
you're
right. Crazy.
Okay.
All right. Now.
Alrighty, on to our hot topic of the month. As a previous huge hot topic connoisseur, it's weird that this topic, that we call it hot topic, because I love hot topic.
And
they have good PlayStation hats and stuff. You can get good video game and anime shirts there and stuff. Hot topic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You getting paid?
Second that.
You work at Hot
Here
Topic.
we go.
We're being sponsored by Budweiser and Hot Topic this episode.
Bud Light.
Yeah.
Dilly.
Yeah, Bud Light. Anthem is the hot topic. Did you play it there?
I did. I played it. I played it for about 20 minutes before they booted me from the server.
All right.
Well, that's good 20 minutes.
What do you think?
Let me preface this. And with the previous, there was a VIP demo last week that was a disaster, and they ended up people's shit, and the servers didn't function, and everybody was up in arms saying it was basically calling the game garbage because of the server issues, because, in my opinion at least, the whole point of these tests, these demos, is to try and stress the servers and see if they can handle it. Yeah. And obviously they couldn't. So they improved it. Still needs a little work. I did get booted.
Counterpoint for you there, Corey, is that they sold that private demo as like a perk for pre-ordering the game.
Oh yeah, they did.
They presented it like it was like a cool special thing that you would get if you pre-ordered the game. So it should have fucking worked.
It should.
Like I would have been pissed if I was buying it under those pretenses.
And they
still got to play it.
And where servers are nowadays, and how long we've been doing online server-based gaming, connectivity issues and server stability is bullshit, and that should have been worked out in fucking alpha.
You're right, and it's EA, which they probably have the biggest servers in the world. Server issues shouldn't be. I'm not defending EA in any way, but I'm just defending the people who are calling the game shit because of the server issues and because of the
and that because they're
not necessarily.
And they got a bitch.
And
the minute that they have any interruption in gameplay, it's the game. The game sucks. They don't understand.
There's also
issues.
Younger people probably playing,
and there are Fortnite players probably, and we're whining because they didn't have their unicorn swords and shit.
But anyways, we gotta keep this short. That was the reaction last weekend. This weekend, a lot more positive, and we all got to play it. We did get booted a few times, but
I had
really good time. Awesome game. I mean, me and Nate had a great time playing it last night. Am I wrong? Did you like it, Nate?
I loved it.
I thought it was great. I kind of felt like, without thinking about like who the developers were, BioWare and Frostbite Engine, immediately when it loaded, it reminded me of a cross between kind of Titanfall and Battlefield 2142. The look and feel.
Andromeda. Did you play Andromeda?
I didn't play Andromeda, no. But
I just ordered Andromeda to come in.
Andromeda's good.
I'm gonna play it.
I thought that a lot of the ease of controls were really intuitive.
Oh yeah.
It was built for a gamer that's plays first-person shooters, because you just try shit out. Like I found out that if you jump and press the L3 stick, you fly.
Yeah.
I was like, this is, and then you hover in the air and shoot at people. I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
I kind of took that away from Nate because I told him all of that as it was happening. Like I told him, like, all right, jump and then click L3. Like, but when I started playing it, I was like, thought you were supposed to be able to fly in this damn game. I'm like jumping and dodging, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I jumped and hit L3, and it's yes, I'm flying now.
It took me a while to figure that out.
But it's cool when you figure it out. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And the flying was controllable.
It even says, oh yeah, flying's really good. And the weapon playing, you guys didn't play as much as me and Nate. The drops you get at the end are dope. They have a ton of different weapons and modifiers and stuff in that game, obviously, because we got new cool shit every mission we did, and that was just the demo. Like way more variety than like Destiny, which is what I'd probably compare Anthem.
I compare it to Destiny. It's a good comparison.
Yes.
Very good.
It felt like Destiny, but flying.
I like that I like the third person over the shoulder kind of view that they had too. I like that.
My good buddy compares it to Warframe, but I've never played Warframe.
Yeah, I played Warframe a little bit. It is the same. It is similar. You can't fly in. Well, you kind of can. I just learned this week that there's no PvP to it. That it's all just PvE, which I thought was interesting. I just thought that PvP is like how you keep a player base. Like I'm curious if they're gonna dump a whole bunch of, PvE content afterwards to try and keep people playing it, or if it's just like a BioWare game.
Oh yeah,
what's that?
Or just launch it with 200 hours of content.
Yeah, right, and it's the other thing is that the demo did have a very much here's a cutscene where somebody gives you the story, and then here's a mission, and then here's a cutscene again, talk about the story, and then here's a mission. Like Destiny has like the strikes and the raids and stuff like that are just different kind of gameplay. Like I'm curious if there will be anything like that, you know, to kind of mix up the missions a little bit more. Because in the demo, honestly, like the story was kind of cool. I guess we won't spoil it here for people who haven't played it, but the missions felt kind of samey. Those 3 missions that we played, I loved it the whole time. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm honestly, if the story is just garbage and I just do that 100 times with my buddies, that's a good game to me. But but I'm curious. You know what I mean? If the real game's going to have more kind of variance in that, or if that'll be the just how the whole game goes.
Yeah. I was gonna piggyback on that. I guess my expectations are a little lowered by what I played. I don't know. Not that I liked it a lot. I just don't think. I guess I had something else in mind. I thought it was gonna be a lot more overwhelming when I played it and be like, oh my god, I can fly, and it really is just a mechanic that you can use. You know, it's not any different than, I mean, I can see the Destiny comparisons, and if the story is good, that's great. I mean, for the few times that I'll be able to play with people, that'll be good, but, you know,
you
I'm
can't
not
play
going
without
to
people.
But that's the thing. I agree.
Right? It just
with
matchmakes you.
It does. It matches.
Like you have to play with people.
And I agree, Dirk. When I played it by myself, I played for about an hour, and I was like, okay, that's Anthem, and then I went and hung out with my roommate. But
that's the feeling I had.
But then when I played it with Nate last night, I was in a thrilling experience the whole time through. Like, and it is. They tell you multiple times this is a game to play with other people. Like, it's not meant to be made by yourself, and that's not the experience that they're trying to, you know, have you go for. It's meant to be played with other people, and it's way more fun with other people. Like as soon as
I can see that.
It was sweet. But that's our impressions on Anthem.
Yeah.
So, topic of the month. Hot topic.
Go check out the Horror, Philosophy, and Culture podcast, Scary Thoughts. Clearly, if you listen to the show, you heard how much we love Scary Thoughts. That was not the ad. This is the ad for them. Co-host Mark K. and Chad Lott, they cover classic and auteur horror films, going deep while keeping the conversation light. To listen, go over to iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you like to receive your dark sermons from the curse marks of the dead.
Alrighty, on to our favorite part of every episode, the YouTube Community Corner. And we left the corner out of the title, but that's what its name is, YouTube Community Corner. This is the part of the show where we give the love back to those who gave love to us this week.
Thank you.
Love you.
Yeah, we love you. We obviously we're an up and coming YouTube channel, and there's a lot of other similar channels, and this is they subscribe to us this week. We subscribe to them. You should subscribe to them as well because they're great people. I'll start it off with Verse the Gang, AM Fire.
Fry.
Why are these?
Is that
Sayum?
AM and Sayum.
No, you're right.
It's probably AM Fire.
AM Fire. Yeah.
AM Fire.
AM Fire and Same.
Sam.
I think it's Sayum.
Same. And
Sam from the south.
Isaac, the Lich YouTuber.
Isaac and the Lich YouTuber.
And the Lich YouTuber.
Isaac and the Lich YouTuber. I got Midnight Pearl Gaming, Satisfactory ASMR Life, and Rum Boys Fantasy Network.
They do fantasy sports talk.
Thomas. I've got Thomas Blaskowitz, cartoon drawing, and Logie Bear.
Logie
Bear 9690. We cannot fucking say names tonight to save our life.
Let's see how I can do. Mine this month or this week are the Hey Guys channel, the Divide Entertainment, and Also, Otto the cat and family love all animals. And I want to talk a minute about Otto the cat and family love all animals. Me and Peter had a long conversation on YouTube or on Twitter this week, and it's funny. Like, I had reached out. So we look at when we make this list, we look in if you are also a creator, you know, there's the creator studio, right? And we go to subscribers and everybody who fills in that week, you know, that's where we get the list to shout out from. And on Twitter, it was funny because lots of people on Twitter say, like, it gets weird sometimes, right? Some people are all for sub for sub. Some people hate sub for sub. Some people, like, when you talk about it, like they pretend like they're going to subscribe to you to try and get you to subscribe to them. Like, it's weird, right? And so it's funny. I had this conversation kind of explaining to her that, hey, we get our shout out list from this. And she's like, oh, all you got to do if you want to shout out somebody is like make a video where you shout them out. I was like, yeah, that is true. But we kind of came up with this formula because we have so many, right? It's like every week, if you think about since we started, it's been thousands of people, right, that we've done. Totally. And we just try to kind of come up with a formula that allows us to help as many people out as possible, right?
Inclusive.
So yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird, right? I just want to throw that out there, but thank you for the great conversation. I appreciated that this week. So sorry, Corey. Go on.
Name of the week.
Our name of the week. I'll lead it off since I'm hosting. I'm gonna go with what?
I was gonna say our name of the week is this is where we give a special award out to our consensus name of the week. It's a very esteemed, honored, prestigious award. So. With that, Corey.
Yes. Sorry, I can't believe I left that out. The importance of the name of the week. I'm gonna go with Hey Guys, or no, the Hey Guys channel. It's funny.
We had a lot of good ones this week. Yeah, I think ultimately when we read through that list right there, I think the satisfactory ASMR life. Like, it's not like super ASMR. It's just satisfactory. Yeah, like I kind of dig that.
I feel that. Yeah.
What you got, Jeff? Well, before Jeff goes, I want to say I have one heart, and on that heart is written Otto the cat and family. Love all animals.
Love all animals.
I don't know. I kind of like the name, the Rum Boys Fantasy Network.
I like the Rum Boys.
Oh no! Do we have a four-way
tie?
Four-way tie.
Yeah.
You guys all get the silver medal.
I think that's the first time we've ever had a four-way.
I believe so.
Not right at all. As I was thinking it just bad.
All right. How's your name of the week? Congratulations, the four of you. We appreciate you.
Of the week.
Satisfaction ASMR Life, Rum Boys Fantasy Network, the Hey Guys channel, and then Otto the cat and family loves all animals.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to wrap up the show with the Comic Book Club, which, as always, is a full spoilers conversation this week around Killer Be Killed #1. The next week's other Comic Book Club, that one is going to Marvel book, so Conan #1. If you read it up so that you can be a part of the conversation, come next week. If you have not read Killer Be Killed, Dirk, see else thinks here coming up, but this is before we do that. Just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for why you find us. Really, really appreciate that. We had a podcast, like downloads have boomed a little bit. New people that are out there listening to the show. That's tube as well. But I love the podcast work. Everybody, appreciate it. Please consider patreon.com/GCandC. Help us make all this content better.
Yep. Find DC and join our Discord and Facebook groups. If you're listening to the show, you know who we are. Just look us up.
Also, if you want to support us by grabbing a T-shirt or a sticker, we got those. And we also just added coffee mugs and hoodies at teespring.com.
Which is perfect.
So check it out.
Shout-outs to Dirk for that.
Yeah, Dirk, that's awesome. And if you like our opening music, you can thank Fred Thomas. And if you're ever in St. Paul area and you see Xee Reiter's artwork, you can thank her for our logo because it's
awesome.
Really kick-ass. And as always, thanks for joining everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome to the final section of the show, the comic book club. This week we're going full spoilers on Kill or Be Killed, issue number 1. This is my show, is my choice, but Dirk forced us all into reading this. So he might partially lead this, but I'm glad he did because it was really great. We're just we all have volume 1, but we only had time for issue 1, so it's kind of my intro to what's Brubaker? What's his name?
Brubaker and Phillips. Yeah,
to their crime type books, and it's awesome. It's really dark, super dark. It's not a very it's pretty depressing.
So full spoilers, right? Full spoilers.
One of my favorite books from last year.
Yeah.
It does grab you.
Anyways, go ahead, Dirk.
Yeah, no, Jeff makes a great point. That's why, I mean, from the very first 3 pages, I was in. Yeah. I knew I was in. I was like, and the thing is, like, it's not a hyper intellectual book. It's not highbrow. It's not fantastical. Well,
it did. I was surprised when the demon came in.
Yeah,
like I wasn't seeing that. Like halfway up until that demon came in, I was like, oh, this is just like a real life killing, Punisher type book. And then the demon came in, and I was like,
say is, remember that this is only book 1.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes, like, because the way it jumps around that first issue, it jumps back and forth trying to tell a story. And,
Buzzball.
And usually, that can be kind of off-putting if it jumps around too much.
It works here, yeah.
It works here because it's almost like you're like, I'm reading a story by somebody that's very troubled mind, or a kid that's trying to tell a story, but he's like, oh, wait, I got to tell backstory. Oh, wait, then this happened.
He does that on purpose,
yeah. It's great.
It's really good.
It's one of my favorite parts of it, for sure.
And, and even the whole, like, this girl is his best friend, but then she's hooking up with his best friend, and then she starts fucking around and kissing him, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself.
He killed himself.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah. He I think in the first issue,
but there's relatable at the same time, almost, honestly. Like, you put yourself in his shoes. Like.
There's nothing about that first image on the cover of the book in that first issue except for the first few pages. Yeah. And he does not explain anything about why he's killing. Well, to an extent. He sort of leads into, but there's no, like, how he gets there initially, He just sets you at the very beginning, and it really...
Well, it starts him as a trained killer, and then it goes into him becoming a killer.
I found it impossible to not read issue 2. I mean, I was like, dude, I'm going to go buy that immediately, because... And the thing is, like, the series goes on like that, where you just... That's why every Wednesday I was there at the comic shop, waiting for that comic to drop. I was like... That was the one. I was like, I gotta find out what happens next.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. I thought, what do you think, Nate? I had the first 3 pages. Actually, it's funny. Like, you were like, oh, I was hooked within the first 3 pages. The first 3 pages, I was convinced that I didn't like it, and then he tricked me. Like, by the end, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, it was cool. I don't know. I had when you don't have the context of everything else, just the first 3 pages is basically
the Punisher.
Yeah, the world's fucked up, so I'm going to take it upon myself to kill people, and it's not too hard to decide who's a bad person.
Yeah.
So those people are going to die. In like as a philosophical thought, I disagree with that, right? And so I thought that was going to be the basis of this character, and it's not at all, right? Like by the end of even that issue, it's very clear that it's way more complicated than that.
Oh, dude, it is.
Here's my prediction: is that he doesn't need the demon.
No.
6 to 8 issues in, he's convinced that his cause is the right cause, but that's just a prediction.
I like how you said it was relatable, Corey, because he shows us relatable because immediately after he wakes up from talking to the demon, he's already trying to rationalize that it wasn't real.
Second guess himself, saying I broke my arm when I fell, and
you start second guessing yourself to talk your mind out of like, did that really happen? And you come up with all the plausible excuses of why, because I guess it's kind of showing the psychological undertones of this guy wants to kill, but he's trying to use the demon as the scapegoat, but then he finally embraces that. He's like, okay, I'll go start killing people.
I mean, I didn't get the vibe that he wanted to kill at the beginning, to be honest.
Well, not the beginning of him telling the backstory.
No, I think issue 2 sort of
he
goes
needed
into
to give himself a reason to kill,
right.
and then it made sense.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is you said this is dark. This is actually not as dark as some of their other stuff. Yeah. But he chose like this. I'm reading Wikipedia. Yeah, he said.
Nope, I haven't read the second one yet.
I haven't either.
That's all I'm saying. You don't know what that means.
He chose to make the character young because he wanted to include the optimism of youth.
Ah.
So.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. Because, I mean, if you read the other stuff that he writes, it's all about criminals, really. I mean, or junkies or whatever, people dealing with a lot of issues. And I think with Dylan, it's a little more like he's not there yet. He's got personal issues, but it's not involving crime or anything.
Right.
But somehow he gets led to that.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
By whatever reason.
Yeah.
Demon or otherwise.
That's it.
It is crazy. I think we should. I think this is one we shouldn't cover the first issue and that's it. I think we should come
back to it.
We should revisit it in like a couple weeks. Actually,
we should do the 4th issue.
Let's just do the whole volume, right? Like I think most people today. Yeah, if this is your introduction to it. Yeah, right.
I'm down with that.
What is this, 4
I'm
issues?
already halfway. Yeah, it's 4 issues because I'm halfway through it and I read 2.
Right.
Yeah, if y'all want to do it, I'm definitely down. I think
do volume 1 in 2 weeks.
I would support Jeff in that idea because I've read the whole thing and you arrive at different conclusions when you reach certain issues. It's I mean, it's one of those series that is planned out the entire way.
Changed me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's planned out the entire way. I mean, it's not like a thing with filler and sort of offshoots and everything else. This thing is scripted to be where it's at the entire time. So.
Sweet.
All right. So everybody read the whole volume for 2 weeks.
Volume 1, 2 weeks.
Next week is what, Conan?
Conan the Barbarian, yeah. And interesting about Conan is Marvel just got the rights back. That's why we're getting this.
Is it Conan or Conan?
Conan
the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Conan's that late night talk show host.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien's great. He's my favorite late night host, to be honest.
I told Bear.
Believe that DC or IDW had Conan before. Marvel originally had it, then they lost it, and they just got it back. And Jason Aaron's the big writer for Marvel. You know, he does Thor and all the other things. So he had he's like,
Basically, run
I've been
tomorrow.
waiting to do Conan my whole life. So
Will they be able to work him into the MCU now? Is that the same deal, or no?
Is he in the MCU? Even
He's
in the
not
comics?
now.
In the comics, though. I guess not the MCU. Is he in the Marvel Comics universe? Is he in the same universe as Iron Man?
well, I don't know.
Hasn't he been in some teams with that world of with the Tights group?
Dude, I
thought
don't
he's been on
know.
teams.
I'd have to check. Samaria is where it takes place, and I've never heard of that place in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like, it's all fantasy-driven stuff.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe. I would love to see it, man. I love this, but we'll get to it next week.
Yeah,
We'll get to next week. All right. Sounds good.
So yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Thanks, everybody.
That was it. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. That was episode 128.
Yep.
Thanks for sticking with us. Later.